Edward Johnson, and I graduated from high school in 1941, but I couldn't volunteer because and most of my friends were Sea Scouts along with me, not Boy Scouts, Sea Scouts. And we knew Tampa Bay like back of my hand, but I didn't have a car. I didn't buy a car when I got out of high school, when I finished high school, because I had two jobs. I worked for the Atlantic Coastline Railroad. You probably never heard of them. And I worked for a theater that doesn't exist anymore in Tampa.
Which theater was that?
The Victory Theater, it was back then. Oh, I don't know when they changed the name during my absence and when I was in Europe. I didn't buy a car because all my money was going to an orthodontist because my arch was too narrow for the number of teeth and the size of the teeth that I had. So I didn't volunteer because I was working two jobs, paying off my dentist was a real good guy, and he even told me when I got my notice from the draft board when they dropped the age from the draft age from 21 to 18. I was 19. Guess who got to go with the first group? Well, I went to my dentist and my orthodontist, and they said, well, you're near enough done, we can finish you off and you can go. I said, gee, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
But anyhow, I went into the Army in, January, well, before Christmas we went to Camp Landing and for physical.
Is that where the draft board was Blanding? The draft board was in Blanding?
No, the draft board was in Tampa.
Okay.
It was bigger than Brandon. Brandon was a suburb of Tampa at this time.
Yes, sir.
The two of them didn't even meet yet. But
so you went to Blanding for the physical?
You went to for the physical, we went to Camp Landing. That's where the Army was doing, or the draft board was weeding out the physically inept people so that they weren't spending a lot of money sending guys up there to be checked out when you can look at them and tell that some people they weren't physically capable of being in the military. And believe it or not, the bully of the neighborhood I grew up in was not accepted physically. And I tell you, it was something to look at this guy and see. He just wasn't physically capable. They didn't want him. But anyhow, they took me.
No.
They sent me in January had to go back right after Christmas. Went back for a complete physical and assignment to wherever they were sending their draftees at the time. And since I had worked at the railroad, and at the time I was doing apprentice work at the railroad, doing car repair work. And I happened to be well versed in air brakes, railroad air brakes. So I know that I was put in the engineers because of my work with the railroad air brakes. But anyhow, I went from Florida to upstate New York. You know where Plattsburgh, New York is?
I've heard of it.
No, that's about 60 miles south of Montreal, Canada.
Okay.
But I was sent from Florida. I had never been out of the state at the time, and went to Plattsburgh, New York.
January too.
No, it wasn't air base then. Plattsburgh Barracks had military control of the barracks. They took they were forming an engineer regiment there. It was at the time of that time of the war. They were making engineers, combat engineers, into regiments, and they soon got away from regiments to battalions. So that instead of having one regiment, you had two battalions. I took winter training at Plattsburgh. When I got off of the train, got on a train in Tampa. Oh no, I got on a train, a bus in Tampa, and went up to Camp Landing. Do you know where that is?
I do. I've trained there before.
Yeah. Got on a train there, changed trains in New York City, went up to Plattsburgh and got off of the train behind the barracks at this place that had been training military since the Revolutionary War years. One of the more important sea battles was taken in Plattsburgh. What was it, Kid? I don't remember the names of some of these places, but it was the British were coming down from Montreal into Lake Champlain, and the Americans whipped their butt, and they had to turn around and went back to Montreal. But when I got off the train, the snow was only knee deep.
Only knee deep.
Only knee deep. Well, I had not been up there 2 months when the temperature dropped to 40 degrees below zero for 3 days. It was, and I thought, what a stupid thing to do. Can't send a guy from Florida to New York in the wintertime. Well, I came to find out that it was a very wise thing that they did. If I had not had that winter training, I would have died during the Battle of the Bulge. It was cold. It was, days or nights when the temperature in the Battle of the Bulge was 30 below. Not many people realize that the Battle of the Bulge was a big battle.
Yes, sir.
So what else? Got training at Plattsburgh, and on Memorial Day in 1943, one of my high school buddies was sent along with we were both in the same unit that was sent to Plattsburgh. And you better watch.
Oh, she's fine.
But oh, my buddy had a date with a girl that I knew, and there was a teachers college at Plattsburgh, and they were both in graduating from teachers college the week after I met my wife. I met her on a blind date on Memorial Day. Was the day the Plattsburgh the Plattsburgh Beach opened on Memorial Day. So here we were, two Florida guys all aboard. We'd been out on what they call the reservation, and there was a dam, and the water got pretty deep, well over a man's head, and I used to go down to the pond behind the dam, and I'd dive in, swim across the pond, and swim back, because I had been used to swimming. The mile was nothing. I had enough relatives that owned enough lakefront property. I could always go someplace to go swimming. So anyhow.
So you met your wife in New York?
I met her the week that she graduated from teachers college, and well, we just knew that we were meant for each other. I did. I got pictures I could show you if I remember where they are.
I can look at them after. I'd love to see them.
Let me see if I can.
Or would you want to show me after, sir?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm really sorry I can't show you these pictures.
I'm sure they'll turn up, sir. All right, so you just told me you met your wife.
I met my wife on Memorial Day at the beach at Plattsburgh. The beach on what's the lake on between New York and Vermont?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, anyhow, I met her at the beach because she and her classmate had a date with this boy from Tampa that I was in high school with. So he found out late that he needed another boy because Fran was bringing her roommate Bessie to the beach. So I told him no, I had just broken up with nurse's aide at the hospital there. So met her at the beach, and the pictures that I would like to show you were Bessie and me taken by my friend from Tampa. But anyhow, I met her there, and from then on, well, when I was in town, I was at Bessie's, where she kept her class. She was living off campus as a senior. She had a job at the end of way out on Long Island, place called Sag Harbor. And not many people have ever heard of Sag Harbor. But anyhow, I did meet her there, and we dated, no one else. On the June 20th, we decided we wanted to get married. So we were never any place where we could get our marriage license until after I was discharged from the Army. So I was discharged on the 15th day of November, and I was told my folks had met Bessie, and they were trying to keep us together long enough to get married before the 1st of December, which Catholics weren't supposed to get married during Advent. But anyhow, yes, I did meet her and met and dated no one else after that. No one. So 3 weeks later, they shipped us out to West Virginia on maneuvers, and I didn't know how soon it was going to be before I was sent overseas, because we were sent then from maneuvers. We went to Fort Dix. You know where Fort Dix is?
Texas?
Fort Dix?
No,
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah. And Bessie was out at the tip of Long Island. It was about as far for her to go into New York as it was for me to go from Fort Dix to New York. So I got a weekend pass, and Bessie and I saw each other one weekend. And before we were on board a ship headed for Oran, Africa.
And who were you attached to at the time? What unit? What unit were you attached to?
I was in the 238th Engineer Combat Battalion, and because of my air brake work, I was on an air compressor, and I hated it. And so I managed to spread the word around. When we got to England, we knew we were getting closer and closer to France. And,
so you stopped in Africa first?
Well, we went to Africa because originally they were planning to send us to Burma.
Wow. 2
of our people went to Burma, and we never saw them again. There was when the Roosevelt, Churchill, and the Russian, whatever his name was, when they met and decided that we'd better invade France the next spring, and we went on a ship called the HMS Andes. It was built prior to War II. This ship was built for the tourist trade between England and South America. That's where the name the Andes came in, Andes Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from Oran, Africa. Again, we kept going west and west and west. And we thought, so many days away from the U.S. East Coast. But no, we turned north. We went up. We could see the glow of lights from Greenland, and we landed at Liverpool. On this boat or ship, there were 8 combat engineer battalions, and I found out just recently that they considered combat engineers to be expendable for the invasion. And fortunately, I was on Utah Beach instead of Omaha Beach. Omaha Beach was Hell Beach. Utah Beach was, it wasn't the battle that Omaha was.
So how long were you in England? How long were you in England?
Oh, in England from, say, about December, January, February, March, April, May, June, about 5-6 months.
What were you doing during that time? Just training?
Getting ready and getting equipped for the invasion. Because I was in, and the 238th Engineers were involved in D-Day.
So, were you attached on?
I was. I landed in France on D-Day.
Yes, sir. Were you attached to a different division, or did you guys stay together?
We were Army troops assigned to Corps, 7th Corps, 1st Army, 7th Corps, and 7th Corps put us with whatever division needed engineers.
Which division did you land with on Utah?
Utah, we landed with the 4th Infantry Division.
Wow.
You know,
yes, sir.
You recognize that. Yes, and
did you stay with them throughout the war?
no.
Okay.
Because we weren't there more than 3 days, and we were attached to the 82nd Airborne.
My uncle was in the 82nd during D-Day. My great uncle was with the 82nd in D-Day.
With the 82nd?
Yes, sir.
With the Flyboys.
Will you tell me about June 6th, D-Day?
What about it?
This time, from your perspective, what happened?
Well, we landed, and
what time did you wake up in the morning?
We were around 8 plus 40, which would put us about between 6 and 7 o'clock.
Did you sleep much the night before?
We were on, the night before, we were on a landing craft, waiting for everybody to line up the way they were supposed to be. And it reminded me of Clearwater Beach. There was a low where I was. I've seen pictures of higher concrete concrete that was to keep the soil from washing away from the beach.
What kind of equipment did you have?
We had, I had, at the time, I had a bazooka.
Really?
Plus my rifle.
That $1,000, or did they give you the 1903?
Well, I never had used anything but a Garand.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have a clip.
I've heard.
I have the clip with the hole in it. You want to see it?
How about, can you show me after the interview, sir?
Okay.
Did that happen on D-Day? Did the hole in the clip, did that happen on D-Day?
No. That happened about 2-3 months after D-Day. Okay. We were breaking out of Normandy.
The hedgerow campaign.
We were breaking out of Normandy, and Patton came along with his army, and just plowed through us. We opened the gate, and he went charging through. Patton had a very good public address unit, He knew everything that was going on, and he was good at it. They moved. But when he said move, they jumped.
So you had a bazooka on D-Day?
Yeah.
And then do you have any other your engineering equipment? Engineering?
Yes. Well, combat engineers have lots of vehicles. Like transportation was nothing else. Each platoon had a dump truck and a cargo, a 6x6. Well, the first thing we did was, well, let's say I saw the beach one time when I crossed it. Not more than 15 minutes did I see the beach. But we went inland. We were headed inland.
Were you one of the first waves, or?
Well, we were H+40. I don't know how many people were ahead of us, but there wasn't many.
What was it like hitting the beach? Were you in the Higgins boats?
I was in a medium-sized landing craft. Now, on the landing craft we had the first platoon was on the landing craft. Plus we had 6 transportation trucks carrying stuff that engineers would need to either clear mines off of road shoulders or fields. Mines were a big problem.
So
we swept mines and dug them up, and we also planted mines.
Sure. What did the beach look like when you hit it?
Sandy. I really can't tell you much about the beach because it was like the bow of the landing craft dropped down, and the water was about chest high. So I had all I could do to keep everything dry.
Did you keep any personal items on you, like pictures or anything like that?
Like what?
Did you have any of your personal items on you, like pictures, religious stuff like that?
Well, that stuff was in a warehouse someplace back in England still.
Wow. You didn't carry anything personal on you?
The only personal stuff we carried was stuff like razor blades, toothpaste, stuff like that.
No pictures or anything?
Oh no.
Okay.
I saw a couple pictures taken from when we were way into Germany, but this was in a copper mining area of Germany, about 35 miles southwest of Berlin. We could have taken Berlin ahead of the Russians, but
politics.
The Germans didn't want us didn't want us staying in an area that was going to be turned over to Russia as soon as things got straightened out a little bit.
So after you hit the beach, you came ashore, then what?
We went ashore and we were doing, well...
Were you still taking fire at this point?
Well, yes, we were fired on many times.
Will you tell me about that?
One time we had laid some mines and we had stretched them.
And this is on Utah Beach?
This was on Utah Beach, or near Carentan. And we laid mines and we built a barbed wire abattis to keep the Germans from coming in and digging them up, digging mines up. The Germans were shooting at us one time in the 82nd, or 101st Airborne. And we were in between the two of them, and they were both shooting at us, and I don't think they hit anybody. But it was not nice to have shots coming from both sides of it. That was the only time that I can remember having our people and the Germans firing at us.
This was Carrollton?
Well, into the mines that we laid, we laid the mines to stop the Germans from coming back in and taking over where ground that we had just captured, like Tarrantan was the town that was up to that point that was the biggest city or village or whatever you want to call it.
Was that the first time you had taken fire?
Oh, D-Day was.
Will you tell me about that, sir?
Well, D-Day,
Yes, sir.
we got.
I just mean from your perspective.
We were mostly 105 howitzer shells. I don't remember being able to recognize the difference between the Germans and Americans. So, rather than shooting some of our guys, we just didn't shoot until we could recognize who they were. If they were German, we fired at them. And I have no idea how many. So
Okay.
what's going to happen with all of this information that you're collecting?
I just want it preserved. So I've got the video and I want to make a disc, just like different battles, different perspectives of it. And I also want to type up an article, give a copy to you, and just keep it. I hope to write a book one day to make sure the stories are preserved.
Uh-huh. Okay, we're off of the beach. We went and we laid we made a Bailey Bridge at a place near the town of Carteret. And after college, I took a job with a phosphate company, and I was at their plant in Carteret, New Jersey.
Wow.
So, what else? We went from there. We pulled 2 ambushes when we were breaking out of Normandy. We were attached to the 2nd Armored Division, and we came to a crossroad, and we knew that there were some Germans coming down one arm of the intersection, and they didn't know that we were there, so we were as quiet as we could be, and it was dark, and the Germans were coming by, and we stretched mines across the road on our backside, and when the Germans blew up the first mine in the ambush, we started firing.
Did they have armor with them? Did the Germans have armor with them?
I don't know what all they had. Some of them, they did have some armor, but they were trying to escape the
hedgerows?
The trap that we were trying to encircle. Some that were trying to get out of not not the big peninsula off of France, but the smaller one where Cherbourg was, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
We built a Bailey Bridge near Tarrantland. And what else?
Could you see them? I know it was dark during the ambush, but could you see the Germans?
Well, only by moonlight. I don't remember what the moon was like, but when they hit the backside of mines that we laid, everybody, that was the signal to start firing. And there were guys that were about as far as I am to you right now on the road, and I was in the ditch. And there were other guys the same way. I happen to know one guy got killed, but he blew it and started to run, and he was trying to jump a wooden gate, and some of the armored infantry saw him climbing over the gate, and he shot him.
He was one of ours?
Yeah, but this guy was running the same way the Germans were trying to go, and his parents, his family was notified that he died in combat, but said nothing at all about him being killed running away from where the fighting was.
That's good.
It was sad. But
it's war.
Yeah. So then they used engineers to fill holes in the pocket. I can't remember the names. Patton was going
The Felice
around.
Gap? No, that might have been Italy. Felice, the Gap? Felice Gap, was that it?
That was one of them, but there was, I don't remember the names of the towns, but we were put on a road with one of our machine guns, and unfortunately they didn't get as far as we did at that time. We did later on get to use our machine guns. So, yes.
What kind of machine gun was it?
50 caliber.
That's what I used. So.
We had, I don't remember when it was, but any 30 caliber machine guns that we had were the heavies with the waterproof, and they were a pain in the butt.
Believe it.
The 50 calibers have to be just about a standard piece of equipment.
Still using. So were you on the 50 cal?
At times, yes.
It's a good. That's what I use. It's a good gun.
Yeah, it is. Yes. After we got up into, I'm moving ahead quite a bit.
Sir, can I ask you a question about the 50 cal?
Yeah.
I've always heard from some of the vets you weren't allowed to use them on personnel, so they would aim at the belt buckle. Is that true?
Well, that's yes, but I have not heard that. But
okay.
That's that would be a good place, a good aiming spot. You get to make more hits with your 50 if you aim at the belt buckle.
Sir.
You've got
the torso
above
and
an area below on each side. We went around Paris to the south. We crossed the Seine River. We built a bridge there. And, we got keeps going across it, and so they sent us across it, and we went up, circled around Paris, and went to Mons, Belgium. And
Who were you attached to during this?
I don't know, I don't remember.
Okay.
But we went to Mons, Belgium, and there it was night, and there were tanks going by heading toward Germany then. And in fact, we weren't far from Germany at all at that point. We went to at Mons, an MP noticed one of the tanks that came by was not a Sherman tank, it was a German tank. So he passed the word around, and there was a big battle, and a lot of prisoners taken because the MP noticed that was the German tank that was in our line of equipment. But the Germans didn't know we were there. They thought they were in their convoy. But they were, well, let's see if I can, there were probably a distance of like between here and Florida Avenue, 8 abreast, marching them with a light tank and a Jeep, a 50 caliber. No, it was a half track with bunches of .50 caliber machine guns on the back of the half track. And when daylight came, well, we headed toward Germany, and we wound up at Aachen, Germany. You know where it is?
I've heard of it.
It's up near where Belgium, Holland, and Germany come together. And so the 1st Infantry Division had Aachen almost totally surrounded, but they didn't have enough men to seal off Aachen. So they used combat engineers as infantry.
Lucky you.
And yeah, I was in on this. And the machine gun we had at the time was a heavy 30.
The 1919 or the water cooled?
Water cooled.
Okay.
Yeah. We hated it, but better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Not as good as a 50 caliber. But my squad crossed a road going into Aachen, and I could see the glow in the background, and I was about to, I saw one man go, his silhouette go by, and another one, and they were pretty evenly spaced, going toward our headquarters, which was maybe 100 yards away, or maybe 200, I don't remember. But I was going to wait until I got the whole squad. What the heck? I wanted to get their patrol. There were, it looked to me like a reconnaissance patrol coming up the road, and I was about to pop the machine gun and get it going. And somebody that knew that this patrol was out challenged them, and they talked in English, and I thought, oh my God, I almost fired on our own people.
Wow.
So the next day, when I was up in the office, I just literally raised hell because they hadn't let me know that my squad didn't get the information that we had a patrol out. And this was October. Had to be October. And I kept hearing hear this thump, thump, irregular, just that. Never kept straining my ears and eyes, and eventually it stopped. The breeze stopped. So the next morning, when it got daylight, I went out to look. What I was hearing was pairs, right pairs, overripe pairs falling, and I was glad that it was something like that, that I didn't let something get past me, because I was on the machine gun at the time. I could have plastered quite a few guys. And what else? Anyhow, when I was in A company, C company, I don't remember, but they B company had a trolley, streetcar trolley, and it was up on the edges. I came and sat in the bowl, and they filled the streetcar with explosive and anything that would blow up, and got it started down the track, and they lit the fuse and shoved it off. So they said that was Hitler's secret weapon. Hey, had it sprayed. I don't know where they got the paint, but they had it painted on the secret weapon number was so and so, whatever. This was about the time when they were sending bombs on a plane without a pilot.
The V2 rockets? The V2 rockets in England?
No, not the V2s, the V1, V2, both of them. So there was something to see these things come flying by, and if the wind hit them just right, they'd flip and come down. So I got to see some of them explode, but
wow.
Not very close. The thing that's frightened me the most was P-47 was dive bombing an area for us, for Americans, and they dove and thought he'd turned loose his bombs, but one of them hung up on him until he got up, and here was this. I could see the plane, I could see the bomb, and the plane went up, and the
The bomb kept going.
The bomb, the whatever it was, B1, B2, whichever it was, would knock the rocket with the plane. And I could see it coming, and I was afraid that it was going to come too close to me. But that was in Hocking. Oh, what else?
You were wounded, correct, sir? You were wounded, correct? Were you wounded during the war?
Yes, I was. I got, well,
Will you tell me about that?
You know what the 88s were?
Yes, sir, the Germans?
Yeah,
Okay.
the 88. 88 was shelling us when we were crossing the Rhine, and I got some shrapnel.
Went through your helmet?
I didn't have a helmet on. We were in a house, and they started shelling us, and we were all heading for the basement. And here was shrapnel. My back would have been knocked off anyhow, but it did. It was $1 million wound, because it bled down my face, and they said, "Hey, get to the medics." Somebody went with me to Lakeland. They handed me a Purple Heart. Yeah, I also got a Bronze Star medal for being very knowledgeable in bridge building. We were building a bridge across the Rhine, just south of Bonn, and I don't know who it was, but some officers came by to see how we were doing, and apparently they saw me solve some problems with putting some of these bays together, and I didn't know until they were passing out purple Bronze Star medals that one of them was for me.
Really?
Okay, let me show you.
Can I take a picture of that?
Is that good?
It's perfect. Thank you. So tell me about that. You said you had it in your bandolier?
This was in,
Looks like maybe this one.
yeah, turn it over and see where the...
It came out right there.
Yeah. Anyhow, this was in that pocket. And this wound up in my K ration, which I ate, but I got, instead of saltine crackers, I had saltine cracker crumbs. Yeah, and then this ground them up.
And you said that was off a burp gun? A burp gun?
Yes. And this guy, he outflanked us when we were breaking out of Normandy with the 2nd Armored Division. We liked the 2nd Armored Division. They were good guys.
So, can you tell me about what happened when?
This?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you were breaking out of France?
We were breaking out of Normandy. And this guy outflanked us, and he sprayed the back end with it. The armored infantry had a heavy 30 machine gun on the top of hedgerow, and we were supporting troops that were stopping another. This was the second ambush that we pulled. They didn't know we were there until we started firing. So they were ready for them. What they did is they pulled a tank out onto the road and fired one shot into the lead vehicle in the convoy, the German convoy trying to escape our enclosure. And when I felt like a hard-pitched baseball right there.
Right in your sternum?
Yeah. I dropped down to the ground behind the hedgerow. You know what the hedgerow is?
I do, like the thick bushes.
Yeah. Oh.
Did you think you were hit?
I hit the ground, and nothing hurts. No blood. When this happened, I didn't even get a bruise. So you can say that you know someone that was shot at, hit, but not hurt.
How long after that did you find out what it was?
Well, I didn't realize what it was until I tried to eat my K-ration breakfast.
How long was that? Was that the next day, that night?
No. It was the next morning. This all happened, say, midnight, 2 o'clock. And we pretty well had them whipped by daylight. Lots of prisoners, lots of their wounded prisoners. And some of the guys, I really felt sorry for them because the way they were shot up. But went back. We were assigned to Combat Command B of 2nd Armored Division, and there was a colonel in charge of Combat Command B, and we were the left flank of Combat Command B. But I can always remember his name. It was Colonel Johnson. So when he saw the flash, the muzzle flash from the burp gun, he just turned his, he was not in a tank, he was in a tank destroyer.
Oh, wow.
So he just swung it around and popped it. I saw the guy
that shot at you?
That shot me. But he was dead. And I wish I had picked up his burp gun.
That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah, but I never thought about it. It would have been nice.
So how did you get this home?
Coming home, I had it pretty well hidden, and I asked somebody that was in checking what what we had, and I told him what I had. He said, you can't take it with you. And I said, well, you'll have to find it before you can take it away from me. They never looked very hard, I don't think, because I never saw them looking for this. But I pulled all of the bullets out and dumped the powder out. So
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So that, you know, the caps.
You didn't have to worry about that one. How the powder's out of those two.
But see, you can see the thing that the striker did when you fire any gun.
I have it in one grand.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, do you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I kept saying that I was going to buy a Duran.
Well, I love it. I love
Yeah.
anything World War II. I'll show you a picture of it. You can't see it that well. It's the middle one.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if I have a better picture. I'll have to show you a picture sometime. I don't have any on me right now, but it's 1942.
Yeah.
Springfield Armory.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I wish I had gotten off my butt and bought one myself. How much did it cost you?
Around 1,200.
Yeah.
We're getting up there. I got a good deal on it too.
Yeah. Well, that's. I guess that's part of the reason why I didn't buy one. At the time, dollars were not in great demand, or in great supply.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I did pretty well after going to college and working for a phosphate company.
You telling me how you got the German pistol?
Got it off of motor squad. Whoever was in charge of the motor was glad to get rid of it. They were giving it.
He was still alive?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, I don't know what happened to him, but I got his pistol.
You know what kind of pistol it was?
I didn't know what it was. I just,
Kept it?
but no.
Do you know what it is now?
I don't show it off any more than I have to because, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, plus one in the chamber.
8 round.
8 rounds, yeah.
Sure.
But my police pistol, which was my pistol, was 6 shot.
Set there a place to tape. That was okay. That was the last tape, so let's continue on the camera. The camera's still recording.
Yeah, I want that in there.
Sir.
And I want this.
And, do you remember about the bayonet, sir? Where you came across this?
Oh, good. There were, after a battle, there was German arms and equipment all over the place, and I just picked up one that looked like it was in good shape.
That's beautiful shape.
Yeah. And I can guarantee you that
Wow.
yeah,
Still got the markings on it.
Yeah.
I've never seen one in person. Wow.
Don't touch the blade. It looks like somebody has wiped it off, and I didn't want it wiped off because the German put the grease on it to keep it from rusting.
Really?
Yeah. So. Did you want to see him anymore?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. It's beautiful. Oh, your kids must be fighting over this. Wow.
And the pistol that I have
Do you want me to get that, sir?
hmm?
Leather's in great shape.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't need to be. I just.
Will you tell me about the bulge, sir?
The what?
The Battle of the Bulge?
Yeah. We were north of Aachen, and we were. It was after dark, and we kept hearing these. We were billeted on the second floor of this whatever it was, and we kept hearing the trucks going by. And we said, "Let's go see what's going on." So we went down, and I came damn near getting killed. This was whatever division it was that they were sending down to where the Battle of the Bulge started. Dark, running without lights. They had, I guess they must have had some kind of light that they could follow, but this truck came by, and I don't know, like was going to step in between trucks to get to the other side of the road, and I got bumped by the trailer that the truck was pulling. It didn't knock me down, but it sure scared the life out of me.
Wow.
So the next day, we packed up and went south. And what they did, they sent us down and to fill in a gap. Before it was over, just out of Manhay, Belgium, we first platoon, I don't remember the numbers anymore, but one of the platoons was laying mines, and it started to snow. And the Germans got as far as their minefield, and they started hitting the mines, tank mines. And you'd be surprised how bad the mines, the American mines were like T-trap. The German mines were at least 3 times as big as our American mines.
Really?
But we still got, we knocked tracks, and so they couldn't go. But one of the squads in in the platoon that I was in, they claimed 4 tanks. We came along after setting charges in the shoulder of the road. We came and we're going to help them with their mine laying, and we got 1 tank. The mines that we live in. So we got, out of the platoon, we had 5 tanks.
Wow.
And that's as far as the Germans got. Here again, there was an officer, a colonel, when we were digging the charges to blow up the road if we needed to. We came back up to Manhay and helped them finish laying their minefield, and snow covered it, so the Germans had no indication at all that they were going to run into mines. They had hit nothing until they got up to us just out of Manhay, and blew them up. It was great.
Wow. Now, how long were you in the Bulge for? Were you there the whole battle, or was that when you were wounded?
We spent a lot of time scattering chips of stuff in the roads so that the tanks, for instance, would slide off the road, and we were doing a lot of just scattering, was like salting a road, what else?
What were some things you did to stay warm?
Well, we had boots.
The goulashes, or did you have goulashes? Or,
yeah.
And did you still have the same coat you came ashore on Utah with, the 41 jacket, or did they give you the 43 jackets?
We had. I don't know what.
It was
I don't know what a 43 jacket
the
is.
darker green one with the 4 pockets.
Remember?
Okay.
We had 70 years ago. So.
After you were wounded, how soon did you come home? Or you were telling me about the boots you had?
Yeah, well, they were LL Bean boots.
Really?
You could tell by the chain around the base of the. There was a chain design, which I found out after the war was over.
Wow.
And what else?
What else did you do to stay warm? To stay warm?
Yeah, we managed to keep a number of layers of material. But I can remember when we stopped someplace and we were going to be there overnight, so we got a good fire going and melted some snow, and had a bath, the first one in a couple of weeks, I guess.
And did you take did you make your helmets white? Did you put like in a pillowcase or anything like that?
No, we didn't do anything. Well, we most of the places that we were was there was foliage, green
Did you have the net on your helmet?
Yes, I had a net, but I was just trying to say oh, yeah, I don't know now. Anyhow, we did melt snow and take a bath.
Wow.
A spit bath. The first bath we'd had in weeks.
Wow.
In Battle of the Bulge. And the Battle of the Bulge wasn't over until we'd gotten a good deal of landscape behind us instead
Sure.
of in front of us. So what else?
How soon after the Battle of the Bulge were you wounded?
Oh, after the Battle of Bulge, we were up in Germany. We were getting ready to build a bridge across the Rhine River.
And that's when you got shelled? And that's when you got shelled?
Yeah.
After you saw the medics, how did they get you home?
I wasn't hurt that bad. It was actually just a scratch, but it bled. And it happened in combat. You can see some scars.
You said it was $1 million wound? It was $1 million
wound, yeah. It was not a big enough wound for me to go any place besides the medics, the company, the battalion medics.
Okay. Then after that, when you were sent back to your guys, what happened after that? Where did you go after that?
Well, we built a bridge across the Rhine, and we headed as far as we could go, and we had to stop so that they could let the Russians take Berlin.
Then were you part of the occupation at all, or did you get sent home?
Well, after we bridged the Rhine, we continued heading east, and they once again needed men. We were combat engineers, so we could do anything, you know. They had, I don't remember which one it is, but we had, there was a shale, a mountain of shale at the base of a field that was full of German prisoners. And I've heard 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, pick your pick, men in this enclosure, and most of them were from the area nearby. And at night, they try to escape the compound. And of course, if they didn't stop when you saw some pictures with a searchlight.
I think so.
In one of the albums.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember seeing it?
I think so.
We had searchlights shining down the perimeter of this enclosure that had so many people in it. There were, I don't know, like I say, some people said there was 40,000 people there. I know that at one time there were so many in this enclosure that they couldn't all lie down at the same time.
Wow.
So there had to be, 60,000 people is a hell of a lot of bodies. But the Russians wanted us out of the area that was going to be theirs. so we had to get out. They sent us back to France, just out of Reims, and we saw trenches from World War I.
Really?
And we saw, well, the second group of Americans, they were sending, they sent us back to run the camps, and they were sending men back to the States. They're going to send them to Pacific, and a piece of metal sticking up. One guy kicked it. It was a dud fired in War I, and when he kicked it, it blew up and killed 5. So there were 5 guys died after World War I was over, and it was very sad to see these guys. I didn't see it blow up, but I knew about it immediately. And guys were warned not to kick stuff, because there was rusty barbed wire and helmets and all kinds of stuff at a monument to the World War I men that were killed in the area near Reims, France.
Wow. That's really something.
Yeah. I didn't understand.
That's really something. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yes, yeah. But it was something to see the difference between the kind of war that they were fighting versus
You had just fought.
Yeah, what we had just finished doing. Yeah.
So you said you lost a lot of your hearing during the war?
Well, this was the Christmas Eve that we stopped the Germans. Another engineer outfit was putting charges on trees to blow the trees down in case the Germans got through. And and I don't know what happened to the guy that was holding this 40-pound charge to blow a tree a certain direction, but I was maybe twice the width of the room. It blew up. The guy was holding it. I don't know what happened to him, but and I didn't know that I had lost the hearing in this ear for several months when they were giving us a course physical. They were telling how much you could hear by putting you in a cubicle, and they come up and whisper something, and I kept waiting for them to start, and nothing. So I turned and looked, and here they were, right up to me with with the whisper. He said, "Let's do this again." We did it again, and same thing. He said, "You can't hear in that ear." I said, "I didn't know it."
Wow.
So this one, I can still hear, but I can. What I hear now is coming through my head. The sound is coming out this ear instead of going in that ear. And that was on Christmas Eve of 1944.
Wow. So they sent you back to France by where the battles were fought in World War I.
Well, the well, the World War I stuff was after we got sent back from Germany. We were up near we were up near Berlin. They sent us back to run these camps when they were requested by the Russians to get the hell out of their territory. Because, you know, Germany was split up into what?
British, French, United States, Russia, and Italy. It was all the Allied powers. I know it was England, Russia, United States, then
France.
France. It was the four powers, correct?
France. Yeah, now I can't
It
remember.
was France, England,
Right.
Russia, and United States.
Yeah, yeah. So, they sent us back to run these camps. So, we did. We ran the camps. We was glad to get rid of them. We wish we were going with them as far as the States. And of course that happened. And I can remember after the atom bomb went off, some of the German prisoners that we were guarding asked me, is it true you have an atom bomb? I said, yeah. I said, wow, they had been working very hard to get the Germans to trying to get a atom bomb.
Wow. So, when you returned home, you married your wife. How many kids did you have?
2.
Two. You said 2 girls?
Yeah.
And any grandkids?
4.
Then any great grandkids?
Yes, 2.
Wow.
Yes.
And you said, what did you go to school for after the war, sir?
I majored in chemistry.
Wow. Then you said you worked for a phosphate company?
Yeah. Yeah, and I went from a chemist to plant manager.
Wow. Did you still keep in touch with any buddies from the war? Did you keep in contact with any buddies from the war?
I don't know of any of them that are still living.
Well, after the war, did you keep up with some of them?
Some of them, yes.
Then your friend from Tampa, were you with him in the war as well?
I saw him a couple times when I was on the police department in Tampa. Real funny. One of them, he was walking along the road. We pulled up. We were working two men to a car at the time, pulled up to him and went and grabbed him and put him in the car. He said, "Wait, what's going on here?" He's a pretty good guy.
Were you in the same company during the war, or did you get separated?
We were within the 238 Engineer Battalion, but didn't see much of it. There was a person, and he was in H&S company, the headquarters company. He lived in Tampa, a block and a half, something like that, from where my mother and father's house was.
Really?
Yeah. But I never lived in that house except for a few days after. I don't remember. I used to see him. His name was Brito, Eugene Brito. And I don't know. I haven't heard from him in probably 30 years. Because, who knows what happened. But the unit used to have a
Reunion?
reunion
Well, I don't know. What else?
Anything? Any other funny stories?
Any what?
Any funny stories with your buddies during the war? Anything humorous?
Well, in Normandy, we were encouraged, if we weren't doing engineer work, to wander around and collect German prisoners that escaped when the infantry, whether it's 101st Airborne or 82nd, we'd go to a farmhouse and beg for butter or eggs or something better than K-ration. And this one farmer said he couldn't speak English and we couldn't speak French. So we did. The guy that wanted the eggs, he squatted down. Does oof. Does oof. Oof is a French word for egg. So he got some. He got some eggs. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah. And I told you about the pears dropping.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That was really something. When I found out what it was that I was hearing, I said, "My gosh, that's what I was listening for, man." I'm telling you, I tried everything I knew to listen, but it didn't come closer to me, but I could hear this thump, 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 thump. It was sometimes more than one. This was in Aachen. And yes, just before we took over part of the front from the 1st Infantry Division around Aachen, the truck came charging down this road. We had a roadblock, and we made them stop. They were lost, and they wouldn't admit it. But they were lucky that we stopped them because they were headed to no man's land. We were the last Americans. And they had not sealed off the Aachen yet.
Wow.
What the Germans would do is they'd pull the tank up in and shell us and hide the tank someplace. I never did find out where, and they probably managed to get the tank out of the encirclement.
So, what was the difference between an amphibious engineer and a combat engineer? One veteran I knew was on D-Day. He was an amphibious engineer. Then I know you. I think he stayed at the beach. Like he was clearing the obstacles on Omaha. He cleared the obstacles.
Yeah.
He was an amphibious engineer. He had the little seahorse patch.
Yeah.
That's completely different, correct? That was completely different from what you did?
I don't know. I don't know what anything at all about this unit you're talking about.
Okay. I'll look up the patch. I'll show you a picture.
There were a lot of engineers on D-Day.
Yes, sir. Have you ever seen something like that?
I've never seen a patch like that.
Oh, then they also had a patch. It was a seahorse. They would wear it right there.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you,
Could that have been CBs?
no, it was Army. It was Engineering Special Brigade, Engineer Special Brigade, and then Amphibious Engineers.
I don't know. One of my cousins went to the, seahorse. One of my cousins was a real good mechanic, and he was a CB, which, because they had so much they had to build on in the Pacific, because before they lost control of the islands that they were taking.
So,
So,
thank you for talking with me. Thank you for talking with me, sir. I really appreciate it.